Hello and welcome to demonstration of ClearTrade supply and invoice ingestion for SAP GTS. What exactly is ClearTrade supply and invoice ingestion? It's an AI ML-based supply and invoice ingestion app that takes supply and invoice PDFs with hundreds of line items, different formats and languages, extracts the data and creates a customs invoice object in your backend system. The objective being to create and submit an import declaration either directly to customs or to broker using the data coming from that supplier invoice. It also has two other use cases. One of them being the ability to create export declarations for ERP systems, non-SAP ERP systems that are not integrated with GTS. So as long as you can generate the commercial invoice for that represents the export, you are able to ingest that just like a supplier invoice and generate an export declaration that can be electronically sent to your folder. Similarly, on the import side, if you have instances of ad hoc imports which do not have any documents, purchase orders, ASNs in your ERP system. So examples would be ad hoc imports or movement of goods for participation in trade shows, movement of production lines, assets, which typically are not done using purchase orders or STOs. Those can also be represented as long as there is an invoice PDF that has that information. It can be ingested and used to create an import ad hoc import declaration directly in GTS. Okay, let's go to the demonstration. So I'm logged into the GTS edition for HANA system. I'm in the customs invoice um, tile group, and there's an additional tile called ClearTrade supply and invoice ingestion. When I click on it, it takes me to this user interface, which has both an upload and an extraction tabs. From the upload tab, I can um, I can upload the invoice that came from the supplier and start its extraction. As soon as the extraction is done, the data is presented side by side. So on the left-hand side is the PDF representing the invoice, and on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side is the data represented by that PDF, so the extracted data. So header data, which includes the vendor details on the supplier invoice, the customer detail, that is you as the importer, and header detail representing terms like currency code, Incoterms, invoice date, gross amount, etc. If I go to the item tab, it'll also show me all the items that have been extracted along with HS code, origin, product description, the purchase order information if that was included in the supplier invoice. Having extracted the data, if I click on save, it creates a customs invoice in my backend ERP, backend GTS edition for HANA system. So if I go back into my import declaration group, and go to the create customs declaration before GR, which I normally would, customs invoice. So the invoice that we used was, let's go back, get all the details. External invoice, execute, and here I see the import lines that have been brought in into the system from the customs invoice object, which can then be used to create an import declaration. As soon as the import declaration is created, all the validations are done. We're able to send them to German customs directly or to a broker depending upon which model is being used.